What is up, guys? It is AJ from MMA Experts, and we are talking about the fight between Michael Venom Page and Ross Houston. Took place here in Bellator's first event in France. Now, the battle was not a super entertaining fight. It was Michael Venom Page's fight. It was fairly one-sided. First round was a bit competitive. We saw Ross Houston able to get Michael Venom Page down to the mat after the flying knee attempt, get on top, but not really do any damage. Page also did hit him with a pretty good straight shot in that round. That first round could have gone either way. Page definitely did a little bit better on the feet, though Ross Houston was able to get the fight to the mat. Now, we go into the second round, and this was definitely Michael Venom Page's round. Was able to get dominant position, was able to land some decent punches, but really wasn't a super impressive performance. Michael Venom Page was a lot more cautious than he normally is. That means he respected Ross Houston's striking. Houston was an undefeated fighter coming into this at 8-0 with just one no contest, and that no contest against Nicholas Dalby, a former UFC fighter. For Ross Houston, it wasn't an entertaining performance, but he did compete against Michael Venom Page, wasn't completely outclassed, did go on to lose a unanimous decision. Third round, kind of slow paced, mostly clinch heavy, not a ton of work on the feet, a bit of striking, obviously, and then we see Michael Venom Page get top position at the very end. Wasn't a super impressive win from Michael Venom Page. I will change the graphic on the screen there. I'll show the takedown real quick in the first round. But it really wasn't one of those fights that you're going to look back on and say, wow, Michael Venom Page deserves a title shot after this performance, because it really wasn't super entertaining. You see, he was on the bottom there for a brief moment, not the best image, a bit blurry there. But I do believe Michael Venom Page is going to find himself close to a title shot, or if not in the title shot. Now, if he is to face Douglas Lima again, potentially I feel that could be next. But Douglas Lima has a very scary test ahead of him, fighting against Gegard Mousasi. We know Douglas Lima, the first man to defeat Michael Venom Page, and knocked him unconscious in the second round brutally. And he knows that he wants to get that back. Michael Venom Page had talked about it this week, potentially running it back and doing it over again. I don't really feel that this performance was all that impressive, but the rematch between these two featured on the screen is very possible next. After this, I guess a bit of a lackluster win for Michael Venom Page, but it just showed Ross Houston was a pretty solid mixed martial artist and able to compete with MVP on the feet fairly well. Granted, still went on to lose the fight. It was 30-27 on two scores and 29-28 on one. And I saw the 30-27, totally understandable, dominant performance, no controversy or anything like that there. But I have a different name in mind for what I feel should be next for MVP. I think you have to go Paul Daly. I really do. I think Paul Daly said he wants one more fight, and I think the rematch between these two is the final fight to make. You do it in England. Hopefully crowds will be allowed. We did have a bit of crowd here in the Paris event in Bellator, and I feel like these two again would be awesome. It would be a great send-off for Paul Daly. If he's able to win against Michael Venom Page, this would be huge. I do think Michael Venom Page would probably use his range control a bit and really try to avoid having a very scrappy boxing style fight with Paul Daly, who's known for the massive left hook, who's known for being a very precise and hard puncher, and whose fight with Derek Anderson fell out about 2 weeks ago now. I feel like this booking could potentially be next. I don't think there was much damage done to Michael Venom Page. I think we could do this even sometime towards the end of this year, and this would be a good retirement fight for Paul Daly to take on Michael Venom Page for a second time. I know he wants to run that back. The first fight wasn't the most entertaining. Hopefully this fight we'll get a bit more striking, because really we have a clash of two very interesting styles. You have the karate style fighter, or unorthodox karate, Anderson Silva-esque with a little Wonderboy Thompson of Michael Venom Page, versus Paul Daly, the very heavy technical kickboxer with massive power in his hooks. He's known for a ton of it. Knocked out Lorenz Larkin brutally when Lorenz came over and fought him. And I think Paul Daly is a serious threat even for MVP on the feet. Granted, the height difference and reach difference could play a factor into MVP getting another win over Paul Daly, and I feel like that is the next fight to make for Paul Daly before a title shot. Gegard Mousasi versus Lima is next. I don't think that we do MVP waiting for the winner. I don't think this was as impressive as it could have or should have been to earn that title shot. I still think MVP should do one more. I could see it up next for a title shot, but in my opinion, I like the idea Paul Daly MVP 2, and then if Paul Daly was able to win, unfortunately that would, I guess, kill the chances of an MVP title shot next, but he'd still eventually be in the mix. But if MVP wins, he really cements his case. Hey, I beat a top guy. I beat Paul Daly now 2 times, who's one of the scariest strikers in the welterweight division, especially in the Bellator welterweight division. And I think then you could sell that rematch. But after beating Ross Houston, a relative unknown to a lot of fans, granted, he was a champion over in Cage Warriors. He's a really skilled mixed martial artist. This was his first defeat. I don't think it's enough to fight a debuting guy in Bellator to then earn a title shot. Could happen, but I really would rather see one more for MVP before that title shot rematch. And that's why I pick him versus Paul Daly next. But all right, guys, that is pretty much it for the full fight breakdown and what I think should be next for Michael Venom Page. For Ross Houston, I think anybody inside of the Bellator's welterweight division could be next. I do think he'll stick around. You went 3 rounds with MVP. That's fairly impressive. There's definitely going to be some matchups for him, and I don't see him getting let go by Bellator anytime soon unless he gathers, a few losses in a row. I do think he'll stick around and should have some interesting matchups in the welterweight division. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, turn on those post notifications, follow my social media, Instagram, Twitter, and I'll see you all in the next video.